So the concept again is 3 questions to 3 different kind of actors inside the project. And so second victim is Muriel, who has a very important role in the project, not least that it's from Muriel we get the iris name. So you devised part of this this concept and the iris flowers. So we're going to check in with see how this iris is doing with you. 2020 was a bit of a difficult one. I mean, you're working with institutional relations and connecting with other projects and stakeholders, and also with me on events. What were the big challenges and changes you had to overcome, do you think, in 2020?
Everything is virtual. Nothing is happening physically anymore. And that creates some issues, is that it's harder to keep track of who's going where, who you can brief about various drivers if they go somewhere as representing Iris or presenting Iris. It's more difficult to get into on stages because the competition is more harsh. You see that they cannot, for example, last year in the European Sustainable Energy Week, that they had to minimize the number of presentations because it became virtual. They couldn't have that many anymore. So you have to be really good, and good means more playful.
It's quite difficult to get that forum and understand those little nuances of advances in policy that you might otherwise pick up at seeing a few different rounds of conferences or events and things like that. So certainly at a European level and sure at national level as well. So you mentioned barriers and drivers just briefly. I know that this is one of your sort of pet projects that you've been looking at, and you've been our antenna for IRIS, looking at all of these. Is that one of your key things that you're working on right now, or what's hot for you right now?
I collect the barriers that we encounter in IRIS to see if I can find examples in other Lighthouse projects and these other initiatives to feed back into the project, and also to see if we can work together on making life easier for fellow cities and new Lighthouse projects. And a few examples of that I think is good to mention. It's the solution booklet that was created between IRIS and Positive City Exchange and several others on citizen engagement, which was very well received by fellow cities. And we're trying to get fellow cities on stage by having fellow cities from these 18 Lighthouse projects organize thematic workshops where they can peer-to-peer exchange. So it's the same as what we do in IRIS with the peer-to-peer meetings, but then between the Lighthouse projects. And we'll have to put in an application before the 26th of March.
Great. And is this a real sort of strategic pivot now? You know, the lighthouses have shone their light, and now the focus is very much on how the fellow cities are delivering. Is this a sort of a change for 2021 for you?
We know that replication often it's not just transfer, it's also adapt. So replication is not just within IRIS, but can also be between Lighthouse projects. And that opportunity I'm trying to sort of give shape. I think, that's the most important thing, but it all starts with communication and dissemination.
And we do know that there are plenty of barriers out there to explore. So that's definitely, do explore them with us, and share how you're exploring them with other people as well. Have you seen in 2020 and 2021 more people trying to replicate and connect with institutional actors closer to home? Is that something that you see happening?
It seems that in the local alignment of stakeholders and stakeholder interests, there's always the question of the business modeling and the financing, which for the Lighthouse cities may have been a different situation than for fellow cities. So you see a lot of interest from the European Commission also in the factor of business modeling and financing as an important driver for replication. So you see those coming together and working together more and more. And I think that, that makes perfect sense. And we'll keep doing that in the next year as well. There's much more out there. I think sometimes we're not aware enough yet of the solutions that we have already found in that field. That the business modeling and exploitation is super important for replication or for adaptation of solutions. And I think we should share more on what we have. I know, for example, in Utrecht, we have this with smart charging. I've heard other initiatives as well. I think that's going to be one of the focuses, how do you say that, in 2021.
Yeah, so there's some real incentives, some resources coming, but also some real incentives to save money and deliver a better product as well through actions like procurement. Good. So we'll be staying in touch, Muriel. Thank you for guiding us through a few of those issues that are on your radar at the moment. And I think we'll be exploring some of those final money pieces tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Indeed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And thank you, Roel.